Hello guys, Eric West here, HawaiiRealEstate.org. Hey, I just finished a live a few seconds ago, and then it got darker, and it looks a lot worse than it did just even a few minutes ago. So I thought I would just keep the live stream going because I know a lot of folks are not here in Maui, but I'm coming to you live. It's a fire that's happening right now on the west side of Maui, and I'm trying to figure out my camera. Doing something weird. Okay, hang on a second. There we go. But it's really gained some significant, sorry, my camera's doing some weird stuff here. I'm trying to fix it for you guys. But it's really picking up some steam here in just the last few minutes, actually, since I turned off the live. But you can see the fire lines all of a sudden are really picking up significantly, and you're seeing at the top of this mountain almost all kinds of what almost appears to be embers, but it's really looking not good. So I'm just going to keep this live stream going so that you can watch this unfold, and hopefully say some prayers that this wind settles down. Usually as the sun goes down, the trade winds tend to slow down in the evening. But it's definitely the wind that's fueling this fire at the moment. But it just literally in 5 minutes doubled in size from what I can tell. It's just unbelievable. This whole canyon right here is just erupting, and this is really scary. I honestly, before I ended my last live, I thought things were looking really pretty tame. And that's not the case. It is going off at the moment. Just to give you the scope, if you're just joining the live or you weren't on the first one, my name is Eric West with HawaiiRealEstate.org. I'm standing at the west side of Maui. I'm looking directly at Lahaina Luna, the neighborhood. Above the neighborhood is the fire. To give you a perspective, those are the solar panels right next to Lahaina Luna High School, and this fire line here is racing its way to the south towards Laniapoko, and it's really heading down the hill at a significant rate of speed. It's quite something. I mean, this fire has, in my opinion, has doubled in the last 15 minutes in terms of the area that it's covering. I kind of ended the last live on sort of an optimistic note, and then I turned around and was like, oh my goodness, it is really just traveling. Look at this. Can you see this? Look at the speed. It's like lava coming down the side of the mountain. That is unbelievable. I can barely get the whole thing in frame. There's the whole thing. But you can see it's now disappearing over the edge of this ridge right here. You see that? I'm starting to get like that bad feeling in my stomach. Whew. Say some prayers, guys, for this wind to sit down. That right there is directly above Lahaina Luna High School. Just to give you a sense of where I'm standing, I'm right above there's the Mormon church right here to the right. Over here to the left, I'm standing right off of the bypass going up the hill from Honopi'ilani Highway, looking directly towards the West Maui Mountains. Lahaina Luna, the neighborhood, is over here to the left. Just to give you a sense, those lights, that's Lahaina Luna, the neighborhood. And this is currently making its way down the mountain at a fairly significant rate of speed. Oh. Hey, bro. You guys can hear that, but the wind is just howling. So if you get a sense of the fire line right now, that to me appears to be the most active over to the right, but then you've got this whole ridge that is just igniting with new flames. And unfortunately the wind is blowing directly towards Lahaina. I just pray there's no loss of structures, or certainly no loss of anything. Just grass and trees. Man. If you're just joining the live, this is Eric West on the west side of Maui, HawaiiRealEstate.org, showing you images of a grass fire that's happening live on the west side of Maui. I'm looking directly towards the West Maui Mountains. Lahainaluna High School is located right here. This is a light, I believe, from the football field. And then there's the solar field next to the high school. Below are the lights of Lahainaluna, the neighborhood. And this fire is heading down the hill. Also appears to be heading both in the north and south direction. This is the southerly end of the fire heading towards the neighborhood known as Pu'unoa and Laniapoko. And over here to the north, sort of climbing the mountain, because the mountain gets really steep right here. At one point I saw embers and fire all the way at the top of the mountain almost, and this is the part that's creeping towards the north, although the wind appears to be blowing, you know, towards the ocean, sort of a southwesterly direction. But I've been shooting live for probably less than an hour. I did a live before this, and it just all of a sudden just seemed to double in size in like a matter of minutes. So I decided to go live again just to keep you guys abreast of what's happening here, and you can all hopefully come together in prayer and pray for Maui right now, and that the firemen can battle this thing and put up some fire lines and keep it from affecting any structures or people. It's quite the sight to behold, though, I will tell you. It's a very sad sight. Really intense right here, as you can see. I don't know how close it's getting to that solar field, but it's kind of hard to say from this perspective, but it's definitely been advancing. I don't know what happens when fire meets a solar field. Yeah, that's crazy. This is the one that's got me a little concerned. I mean, it all has me concerned, but this is really seems to be making its way south at a pretty good clip. The smell of smoke is really getting super thick. My eyes are starting to water a little bit. It's definitely making its way down low. trying to zoom in and show you some detail. Again, in my opinion, this hasn't gotten to any neighborhoods. I do not believe there's any homes that have been affected. From what I can see, I know the area really well, obviously, but it is definitely moving in the wrong direction. I'm sure they'll be evacuating all the neighborhoods from Lahainaluna down to Laniapoko would be my guess. Wow. So now it's completely around this building right here. Do you see this building? It's around, not the building itself, but I can't see. It's more than, it's past what I can see. It's moved, past this building in the foreground, and it is just something to behold how quickly this fire is moving. Big eruption up here right now. There's some definitely it looks like some cooked pines right there, possibly. I'm pointing the camera right now at sort of the direction of the Lahainaluna L. If you're familiar with that red L, it's right up in this vicinity. And this is all kinds of crazy over here. I'm sure the highway will be shut down, would be my guess. So if you're just joining the live, this is Eric West, hawaiirealestate.org, showing a live image of a fire that's been burning most of the day on West Maui Mountains, right above Lahaina town. To the left here, we've got Lahainaluna. These are the solar panels to the right of Lahainaluna High School. And the fire is moving both towards Lahaina itself, moving to the north, but predominantly the wind is blowing to the southwest, and it's making some major advances towards the town itself, towards the bypass, and towards Laniapoko, Pu'unoa, and it is all very, very dry grass. We've been in a major severe drought for a while now, so there's a lot of dry fuel up there. The good news about these fires is they tend to not have a lot of fuel. They burn pretty quick, but the dangerous part is they can burn quickly to homes and to where people live, and if they can create a good fire line, there's not a lot of, like I said, there's not a lot of fuel. But the key, I think, that the fire department is usually pretty good at is keeping them from crossing into neighborhoods. But the speed at which it's going, we've got the trade winds in charge today, and they're still blowing even though the sun is set now, obviously. But there's still a pretty significant trade wind flow, which is feeding the fire. How it started, we don't know. It started in the Coahoma Valley, which is the same place during Hurricane Lane, that big fire. It appeared to be the same valley, the same area where that fire started. Lisa was going to the other side earlier today to go vote and also pick up an air conditioner for a client at Lowe's, and noticed the plume of smoke. It was a pretty significant single plume of smoke, but obviously was not put out, and now we've got a significant fire event happening on the west side of Maui. Very, very significant. I would say if you are in any of the neighborhoods bordering the bypass, I would evacuate now. That would include Lahaina Luna, Pu'unoa, Launiupoko, and because it is a very, very fast moving fire, and it is moving south towards Launiupoko at a very high rate of speed. You can see it there. What I can see of it now, of course, it's beyond that building. The building's in the foreground, obviously, but it is moving to the south very quickly. So if you're in Launiupoko, if you're in Pu'unoa, I would get out of your house now. I believe this is an area that's got some trees. That's why you're seeing some bigger flames in this area. Most of the ground that you're seeing burning is actually grass, but there are some cook pine trees up in these hills as well. They're all fallow sugar cane fields that they no longer grow sugar cane on, obviously. So just dry grass. There is I believe the chocolate farm is somewhere over here where they grow cacao. That thing is always very irrigated, so it's always green. I remember the last fire, it was spared because it's so green. So I'm hoping that's the case this time as well. But I'd say West Maui can definitely use your prayers right now. Share the video and get as many people as you can involved in saying some prayers for this fire to go away, for the wind to sit down, for the firefighters to be effective, they get a good break, for some rain to come during Hurricane Lane. We just had this beautiful rain that came out of nowhere. You'd think in a hurricane you'd have some rain, but not that day. But we did long enough to turn the tide of that fire, and it was raining just about an hour ago up in Ka'anapali. I was at the Hanuakai with some clients, and it was raining pretty steadily, so we just need that rain to move its way down here. But this fire right now stretches all the way. This is the northern point right here above the high school, all the way to the south, and completely out of camera frame past this, in the foreground of this building. The location of the Lahaina Luna homes is right here below this. Those panels you see right there, those are solar panels right to the south of the high school, and all the homes in Lahaina Luna are all those lights you see below the solar panels. So right now they're good, but certainly the fire's heading that direction. So if I was a resident of Lahaina Luna, I'd probably be getting out of Dodge at the moment. Because there's one thing about fire and wind, it tends to move very, very quickly. As you can see, the winds are blowing my gimbal around pretty good. goodness. That is just one unbelievable sight. If you're just tuning in, I'm located on the bypass right above Foodland Farms. Mormon Church is right over here to my right. This is the hill going up the bypass right here from Honopi'ilani Highway. I'm looking directly toward Lahainaluna High School. Matter of fact, these flames right here are right above the solar field that I believe is for Lahainaluna High School. So this fire is, I'm going to say, dangerously close to the high school itself. I do believe it's still above the high school, from what I can tell. And I sure hope it doesn't get anywhere near that high school. But I'm going to say the high school is right there, that big non-burning spot to the left of that solar field. That's the location of the high school itself. Oldest high school west of the Mississippi. Go Lunas. I'm praying for the high school right now. Look at that fire explode right there up that hill. That's like an updraft. My goodness. I know they work very hard to protect that high school. But this is the area I'm kind of focusing in on at the moment. As we head to the south, everything here is going to be basically no homes below that. It's going to be the bypass. There's really nothing below the bypass either, so I think it appears to be avoiding Lahainaluna neighborhood and Lahainaluna High School from what I can tell. But then what's going on further to the south of that as it heads towards the neighborhoods of Pu'unoa and Laniapoko, that yet remains to be seen, because that's sort of out of my view plane at the moment. But what I can tell you is it made its way from, where I'm pointing the camera now, completely to out of frame over here in the course of this live, which has only been going for a few minutes. How many minutes are we at, guys? 23? 29? Whew. This is not the kind of live I want to be doing. Just had a little eruption right here in this area. See that? That just kind of showed up. Like cars are still going up and down the bypass, so it's unusual. You'd think the bypass would be closed by now, but maybe they're keeping it open until the fire gets closer. But I'm surprised there's still cars going up and down this bypass. I'm gonna grab my bifocal so I can read some of you guys' comments. I don't have my glasses on, but I'm gonna grab them, see if there's any questions I can maybe answer. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. My apologies. Oh, that's what my screen looks like. Yeah, we got us a hot mess on our hands here. Kathleen, what started it? I don't know. We haven't been told that. I'm doing better than the evening news and keeping. Thanks, Wes. Kitty, do you know how it started? I don't. Are they trying to put it out? Yeah, there's multiple fire personnel on scene. Saw many lights, many fire trucks. Don't think he's reading the comments. I am now, Nico. I got my bifocals on. We have a helicopter, Aero 1 helicopter that can fight this, but I think it can only fly during the day, not at night. How far from the highway? It's, if I was to estimate, the fact that the highway is still open would tell me it's, you know, a couple 100 yards or more up, but it's definitely moving towards the highway. I'm going to say this area, I'm going to say this fire is not contained at all. I'm going to say this thing is, I'm sure that they established some fire lines early, but clearly that all changed. When I first started my first live about an hour ago, it was just sort of right here in this area right here. You could, the whole fire was just sort of right here. And now it's, bye honey, I love you. I'm going to just sit here and keep filming. Have any homes been lost? Don't know. From what I can see, I don't see any structure fires, but it's heading towards the neighborhoods to the south of Pu'unoa and Laniapoko, and then over here you've got the neighborhood known as Lahaina Luna right by the high school, and I have not seen any fire get close to that neighborhood. And the high school apparently also seems to be okay, but right now I'm noticing some flames up around the bottom of the solar panels. You see that? That's the closest I've seen anything get to those solar panels, and that's a little concerning. Electricity and fire don't usually mix too well. That was a water truck that just went by. I'm sure neighborhoods will be getting evacuated. I just don't know of any. I came straight from work to here, so I didn't watch. I didn't hear any news or any radio stations or anything like that. Yeah, Shell, this is not good. We had a major fire during Hurricane Lane. Kahana Ridge, Dana, is way to the north. Way to the north. So that's none of Ka'anapali or Kahana or Napili, none of that's in danger at this moment. The neighborhoods of Lahaina Luna, oh that's good, Hyatt Pool stop. The neighborhoods of Lahaina Luna, the high school, Pu'unoa and Laniapoko, I'd say right now are the ones that are definitely in the most danger. JD. Right now I'm located right next to the Mormon church. There's the Mormon church right there, next to the bypass. Where's the Mormon church? Hang on, there it is. This is the bypass coming up from from Honopi'ilani Highway. It's the end of the bypass, or the beginning of the north end of the bypass is where I'm located, and I'm looking up toward Lahaina Luna High School and the Lahaina Luna neighborhood. The red L, if you guys are familiar with that, would be located right there above this solar panel. These solar panels, I should say. And Lahaina Luna High School, I believe that's one of the lights from the field right there. That bright light you see in the center of the screen, that's the football field of Lahaina Luna. I'm really noticing how loud so many people's exhaust systems are. It's crazy. You got like the little cars that the little teenagers drive that have these loud mufflers. Then you got the big trucks that they're little guys too, I'm sure, with their loud mufflers. It's like, come on, man. It's supposed to be a muffler. Like, then you got the Harley guys, right? They're loud. Then you got the moped people. They're freaking too loud. Like, man. Anyway, I guess that's what happens when you stand next to the highway for an hour. Solar panels, I think the solar panels are for the high school. I believe that's powers the high school, is my understanding. So traffic seems to be a lot less at the moment. I don't know if they've shut down this highway yet, but I would imagine they're going to. Yeah, if you're just joining the live, JD, this fire is right above the West Maui Mountains, or on the West Maui Mountains, above the bypass, the new highway that they built. It's above the bypass, in between Lahaina Luna High School and Laniapoko. 37 minutes. All right, Simon. The mayor of Napili is on the live. The L is white. What do you mean, babe? The L is white. Is it burning white? Is that what you're saying? I thought the L was red. I thought it was like white with red around it. Oh, I got a bad memory. Okay, my wife says it's white. I believe her. Never argue with your wife. Remember that, fellas. You're right, it is white, honey. Thank you. You're right. Just when you're Lahaina Luna, you just see red, right? Everything is red. Bleed Lahaina Luna red. Okay, go Lunas. So this is the area that I can't see how much it's heading to the south because it's out of my field of view, but it started heading towards the south pretty swiftly. So if you're in the neighborhoods of Pu'unoa or Laniapoko, I would definitely be evacuating. A portion of the Lahaina bypass has been closed from Kaiheliku to Hokiokio. From Kaiheliku. Oh, okay, that's okay. So they're directing that down. I get you. So they're having sounds like all incoming traffic is being directed into Lahaina town, but they haven't shut it down on this end yet. And for those of you that are not familiar, Kaiheliku is the main road heading up into Laniapoko, and Hokiokio is the road that heads up to Pu'unoa. Oh, thanks, Steve. It's the gated portion. And then if you follow Hokiokio straight down, it hits basically Pu'amana. broke out around 11:40 near Kauala Valley. I probably didn't say that right, but I gave it my best shot. Yeah, West Maui, all of Maui has been under a severe drought for a long time now. We've had watering restrictions. All the parks, the city parks, rec parks, all have no more green grass because they don't irrigate them anymore. Watering restrictions been in effect, so all this has been very dry tinder basically. Very little rainfall. So this definitely right now is the most active part of the fire to the south. This area here by Lahaina Luna, it could be that it's just dipped into a valley, but I'm not seeing as much flame there as I was just a moment ago. So it's hard to say if it's just in a valley and it's burning below our line of sight. But certainly lots of activity up here above the high school. Man, I'm gonna smell like a campfire. Ugh. It's really kind of giving me a bit of a headache at the moment, I'll be honest with you. It's getting kind of thicker. But the wind definitely has died down. Look at this, guys. Your prayers have worked. You see that? Smoke is moving in the opposite direction than it was before. I think the helicopters can only fly during the day. I don't believe they can fly during the evening hours, so they're restricted. But there was helicopters out earlier is what I was told. But the winds have definitely died down. Now you're seeing smoke going straight up in the air. So that's a great sign. Yeah, thanks, Kitty. Keep praying. Pray for rain. Pray for this is just a little grass fire, creating some fertilizer for the next batch of grass, and that's it. There's the Harley. Oh yeah. You know those Harley guys love that too. They're like, man, we're just making some noise. We're just gonna blast that muffler. Kind of irritating. Yeah, please guys, pray for everyone's homes. Pray for all the firefighters that will probably be up all night long. Pray for their safety. Pray for God's favor and the Hawaiian blessing of rain to come pouring from the sky to put out this fire. Everybody will be safe. Nobody will be injured. Nobody will lose any property. Looking directly to the south there again towards Laniapoko. Definitely still going pretty intense right here. Again, to me the high school looks good. I didn't see any flames get close to that light right there is the football field. But there's still flames above it, right? So all of a sudden an ignition right there. Yeah, it is all too familiar. I'd really be curious to know what's going on down south, because it's out of my line of sight now, but what's happening towards Laniapoko and Pu'unoa. And this is definitely picking up some speed here as well. You see that? So now it was in a gully, I believe, and now it's coming up over the top of the gully. So it looked like it was gone, but really it was just below our line of sight, is my guess. All right, California people, this is not about California right now. Are there Californians on here? You got Californians watching this? Oh, no way. Californians like Maui? I had no idea. I'm just kidding. We love you Californians. You're just a 5-hour flight. And Washington and Oregon. Don't worry, I haven't forgot about you guys up there in the frozen Northwest. And the wind just kind of picked up down here a little bit. Yeah, I hear you. Thanks, Kimberly. Appreciate your prayers, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your prayers. Thanks for caring about Maui. And definitely share the video. Get as many prayers going as we can. And let's just believe for the best for our beautiful island, tropical paradise, best island on planet Earth. And gosh, this little thing just blew up here too. Look at that. Yeah, Maui no color. See, if they just had the sugarcane fields back. See, in my opinion, Maui Land and Pine, that owns most of this land, shouldn't let it go fallow, right? They should be up there growing cabbage or growing something, you know? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Put the land to use, grow food for people, and then it would be irrigated land and it wouldn't be susceptible to fire. You know, just be creative. There's a thing you could do to make probably loads of money if you just got creative about it. You've got the land, put it to work, put it to use. You got the water. Just so you guys know, Kahalavai Mountains right behind us, West Maui Mountains, second rainiest spot on Earth. So yeah, we have a drought just past the mountains, but the mountains are getting the second rainiest spot on Earth rain. That's a lot of rain, like what, 500 inches a year or something crazy. So why not use that water, irrigate, just like the early Christians did when they came here and taught the Hawaiians how to irrigate with the canals and all that, and created the sugarcane industry and the pineapple industry. That water's still up there, the canals are still there, you could still irrigate this land and grow food for people. Why not? And it wouldn't be burning every year. But hey, just one man's opinion, I guess. So right now it just looks to be pockets of flames. I don't know what that means. Ran out of fuel, hit the highway. The fire department had fire lines set up, but it seems to be, this is a big glow over here though, so this is where it's at now, right? It's moved, and it's this side of the building, or that side of that building in the foreground. But over on this side, I'd say the most active portion is definitely this little south piece where the trees are. All right, guys, well, I think I'm going to call it. I gotta go drink some water and take an Advil. I got a headache from all this smoke in the air. But thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Oh, thanks, Brian, for the update. Appreciate it. Thanks, Marianne. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Much aloha to you and your ohana. I will, Steve. Thank you so much. Thanks for keeping Maui in your prayers, guys. I believe this thing is going to extinguish itself, I hope, soon. I know. Thanks, Julie. This is the area I'm worried about, by the way. If you're in Pu'unoa or Laniapoko, I would get out of Dodge, because that doesn't look good. That glow right there, not look good. All right, guys, till next time. Thanks again. I found the bifocals. Can't see a darn thing, but thanks again for tuning in, guys. I shall return and give you an update as soon as I can. Have a wonderful evening. Much aloha. Thanks, James. Thanks, Tamara. Say hi to Long Beach for me. Thanks, Brad. You're trending on Google. All right. Of course, I don't want to be trending for this, but this sucks.